I'm back with another book review, and today I have Black Fortunes by Shomari. Sorry, I can't remember who wrote it. So this book is about the first Black millionaires in the country and how they came about their wealth, and basically their struggle, how they retained their wealth if they did, and what happened to it, and some of the challenges they dealt with being a Black millionaire in the 18th and 19th century. So I saw this book in Barnes and Noble. This is Black History Month, and I wanted to read something cheerful because I had just read something sad. So I wanted to read something cheerful, and this book was such a delight. Now, let me say that it wasn't all cheerful because they still, of course, like as expected, dealt with racism and dealt with some pretty harsh things in their life, which you just be like, oh, the story never ends. Like, it just never ends. Like, Black people are always dealing with something. But thinking about their riches and how they enjoyed their riches, how they came into their riches, it's cheerful and delightful just to kind of hear about it. Also, I think one of the things that I liked about the book a lot is that it debunks a lot of the stereotypes and myths about Black people, and that's that they're lazy, or they haven't worked hard, or you guys have been emancipated since 1865, and why haven't you came further? And this book does a great job of illustrating every time someone has come, they have had to deal with racism, like just strictly racism, and whether it's someone trying to steal from them, steal their fortune, or lock them up in jail and forfeit, have the government take their fortune, it's always something. So yes, we can do it. Yes, we have done it. It's just unfortunately every time that we do, somebody comes and, along, or some institution or some group of domestic terrorists tries to take it from us or kill us, from our fortune because they're upset that we have it. It's one of the things that the author mentions at the beginning of the book. Is like, in elementary school, I'm sure like a lot of you all, I was taught that Madam C.J. Walker was the first Black millionaire, but she was not. She was the to first openly display her wealth. And the reason why is because once people knew that a Black person was rich, all hell broke loose. So they had to be really quiet about their money. But this book talks about some were quiet, some were a little bit ostentatious. If you got it, flaunt it, spend it. The book was very well researched, very well thought out. I really want to applaud this author for taking it upon himself to really do this project and bring us this story. Like, you have given people so much more to talk about in Black History Month besides the Civil Rights Movement, and the same names that we tend to hear over and over again. So thank you, Shomari Wills, if you ever see this video, for doing that. A lot of these names, and I googled them. The AI is thankfully for the internet, a lot of documents that are at our fingertips that we would not have necessarily had. But the information is out there. The information is out there. Like, we are now getting access to records and archives and all types of newspaper articles and stories. Like, he didn't make any of this up. I cross-referenced, not that I didn't believe him, I just wanted to see and hear for myself and see what he possibly had to edit for his book. So not that I didn't believe him, but I was looking up these people and looking up these stories, and there they were, bright as day. Just bright as day, just good old plain American history in our records and archives. And it's just like, wow, like, we are unfolding so many stories about our history that it's just so exciting. And I think that Black Fortunes is probably, really just maybe just tapped into the surface of that. And hopefully, more writers are to follow and to come and bring a project like this. I can imagine, some of the research that he did, probably organizing it and getting all that stuff together. I can only imagine, but I am so grateful for it. The book does a good job of humanizing the people that it's about, really telling their stories, painting that visual picture for you, a personality picture, so that you really, get to see it in your mind what these people look like, and kind of how they move, their mannerism, in the book, even though we don't have like footage or anything of most of these people. I know, again, it's almost photographs of almost all of the people mentioned, but the only one that I'm familiar with is Madam C.J. Walker. And so again, it's to put some actions and mannerism and to talk to people or descendants of people, really read into how they may have acted and looked. I think that the author did a really good job of filling in the gaps of that. So I really appreciate it about the book. Nothing I didn't really like about the book, and I know I say that often, but it really was a treat. It gave me way more than I expected to get. I expected it to kind of read like a research paper, to kind of read more like academia, but it didn't. It read like a bunch of intertwined short stories that had real characters, real events, even relationship woes and, you know, romance. Like, it really was a full circle read, if you will, and it gave me a lot of that. I guess if I had to rate the book out of 5, I would give it a 5, hands down. Like, I don't know what more I could have expected from it. I was really blown away by it, and so I'd give it 5 out of 5. This book is for any educator out there. Again, unfortunately, you know, every year it seems to be some news article that surfaces about Black History Month and how you're teaching slavery or doing some kind of morally conflicted exercise, and it's just like, come on, teachers, we don't have to do this. Let's do a little research, you know, before we do these things. So this book is really a good piece of American history for everyone. If you love Black history like I do, I have to reiterate that how much I love Black history. If you love Black history like I do, this will definitely be a treat for you. If you are an educator, definitely take the time to educate yourself on this, because let me tell you, just like as a Black American, a descendant of slaves, like American slaves, both sides of my family, like just farm girl Mississippi, I want to say that it is emotionally taxing to keep reading racism and slavery and racism and slavery, but you can't shy away from it because it's almost in every single story that there is. You see, whether it be blatant racism or institutional racism, you see that almost in every Black story, because that's how real it is. That's how frequent it is. We can't get away from it. So not to say that you ever need to embrace racism, but you kind of gotta at some point be okay with reading it and not being upset and not being sad of it. But with that said, you know, of course, take care of your mental health, because like I said, I needed a break from it. Even though it was in this book, I just did not want to read another sad story. But everybody should educate themselves on this. Definitely educate us, because this will be something different that you can, you know, bring to your students. This is something different. This is a, you know, a positive entrepreneur. You have entrepreneurial lessons with this book. You can teach wealth building with this book, because it was done the good old American bootstrap way in this book. When you have a book telling a story about people who literally went from slavery or the birth of slaves to millionaires, what better economic lesson can you find, in my opinion? Can't find a better one. So this book does a really good job. It's a great foundational book. Read this book, find some gains, find some teaching points, find something to do that could be joyous and cheerful. I promise you, the parents will be happy with you. You won't make headlines, or you'll make headlines for the right reasons. And so that's pretty much it. That's all I have for Black Fortunes by Shomari Wills. I'm going to put a link in the description box below if you guys want to read it. If you've read it already, let me know how you enjoyed it. When I picked up the book and I was walking around with it in Barnes & Noble, a lady stopped me. She pat me on the shoulder. She was like, that's a really good book. You got to get that. And that's why I got it. Honestly, she really did. So I know I do that sometimes when I'm in a bookstore or library. I tell people, yeah, go ahead, and that's the one that you want to get. So I'm telling you guys, go ahead. This is the one that you want to get if you see it. I know that it only comes in a hardcover edition, maybe because it's still frankly new. I think it's only a couple of years old. It's worth the money. I know this is a little bit more. It's worth the research. It's worth the keepsake, and it's a good book to give as a gift. I don't know anybody who wouldn't enjoy this piece of American history. So that's all I got for you guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys next time.